Hey y'all, welcome back, Crowllies. I hope everybody's doing good. Are you guys ready for this live stream? All right, it's the moment we've been waiting for. All right, it's been a long time coming, but finally, we are in our winning season. Everybody, round of applause, okay, for all the progress that each and every one of us have been going through. All right, everything that we've been working on. All right, so whatever specifically you guys have been working on, you are going to win. All right, so this metaphorically can mean a lot of different things for you guys. If we're talking about your healing journey, you're starting to see results. If we're talking about financial money moves, you're starting to see the shaking and the moving of things growing, okay? Sturdy growth, all right? Good progress. If we're talking about your love life, then that means you're going to start seeing things blossom, bloom, and flourish in the best ways possible, okay? If we're talking about whatever things you've been accumulating through what you've been working on, okay? And I'm talking about brainstorming ideas, having those aha moments, having those epiphanies, things that you've been working on behind the scenes, things that haven't necessarily been launched or talked about in public or announced yet. This is your winning season. Did you get all your confirmations? Yes? All right. Okay, so let's start off with our first few messages. Okay, bear with me because I just sat down, y'all, so I need to grab all the cards and stuff like that. So, of course, for those of you watching the replay, y'all can just click on a couple buttons and then boom, you're there for the message. But for those of you live stream, thank you for being here with me. I'm going to go ahead and pull some of your what's coming in next messages, and I'm going to do it from the What's the Vibe deck. All right, my OGs know that this deck is an amazing deck. I love this deck so much. It goes straight to the point. It tells you what you need to know, right? Okay, so what is the vibe? What's coming next? Put this up here. All right, woo, let's go. And I did light some dragon's blood. Dragon's blood is good for protection. Dragon's blood is good for attracting finances. Dragon's blood is good to protect you from the evil eye. These are certain things that maybe perhaps also has to do with your winning season. Okay, here we go. What's coming in? What is next in this cosmic energy map for the Crowllies? And if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe and become a Crowlly. All right. Now we have family. So there's going to be changes in regards to family blood ties, your inner circle, people that you consider family, soul family, things of that nature. I'm seeing this energy of vibrance. Things will be brighter instead of darker. Okay. I don't know what you guys have been experiencing in regards to difficulties, just icky energy, having arguments, or it doesn't even have to be arguments. I just feel like it's just a lot of back and forth, or a lot of hesitation, a lot of perhaps like obstacles. All right, that you needed to overcome in regards to communication, or in regards to the connection with family, family ties, family members, soul family, soul tribe, things of that nature. This is going to be the energy that is shifting for you guys. This is what's coming next. All right. Let's see what else is here. All right. That also includes mother, father, brother, sister, siblings. I heard nieces and nephews, so that could be significant too. All right, we have longing. Longing was in the reverse. So you're no longer going to be in the energy of wishing for something to happen, wishing for things to be better, just wanting to be in that future state, right? That future phase. You know how we tend to like, especially if we're talking about manifesting, right? When we're trying to manifest and we dive into that imagery, right? We dive into that daydreaming type of phase. You're no longer going to be in that element of daydreaming and conjuring it up in your mind, in your imagination. This longing, it's not going to happen, but let me just sit there and daydream about it. No, it is in the reverse. You're no longer going to be longing for things that has not happened yet, or for things that are just not in alignment in your frequency anymore, right? When we talk about things being in alignment in your frequency, we talk about things, and we're not just talking about things, we're talking about people, right? When people are not in alignment with us anymore, that means that we don't have the same opinions. We don't have the same feelings. We don't have the same, let's say, hobbies. We're not attracted to the same things. We don't see eye to eye, and that is a confirmation within itself. You're no longer longing for fixing relationships that can't be really necessarily fixed. If you're just not on my vibe, you're just not on my vibe, right? And so this longing energy is talking about, like, I'm not going to talk to someone that doesn't want to talk to me. I'm not going to want to reconcile with someone that doesn't want to work things out. I'm not going to sit here going back and forth with someone and try to fix something that they want to keep breaking, right? And so you are now getting out of this energy. That's what's coming up moving forward. All right. And it's ironic. It says, let's talk. We have reunion and we have missing you. So if you were missing someone for a really long time, what's next? You're not missing them anymore. You're not missing them anymore. You're realizing why they got left, right? You're realizing why you're moving forward in this next phase, right? We're talking about this, again, cosmic map. So in your cosmic map, this could be your finance map for you. This can be your healing map for you, right? This can be just your spiritual journey map, right? Everybody's going to be different. Comment down below, what is this resonating with for you specifically, right? This map of yours, this cosmic map of yours in your journey right now, you are in a different, you're heading in a different destination point. Okay, you're in a different destination point, and whoever you've left behind in the last destination point, right? Think about a bus stop or something like that, right? You have like these different pins, right? And so the last stop that you were at, you left some people, and in the transition between that last stop and the stop in the phase that you're in right now, okay, and what you're going towards, okay, your next stop, basically, you're no longer missing that. You know, that energy of like, oh, I wish it could have been like, I wish I could have said, I wish we could have done, maybe we could have changed, right? You're not doing that. We're not doing that right now. We're not doing that, boo-boo. Angel number 1111 and 1212, confirmation. We're not doing that. We've mastered those situations and circumstances. Okay. What else is coming next in the energy map? And I will tell you, your energy is shifting. Okay. You may show up late, but you are on time, boo. You may show up late, but you are right on time. All right. We have, look at this. This is another reversal. Psychopath. You're no longer dealing with these psychotic people. You're no longer dealing with the narcissists, the abusive people. No, that's who you left behind. You left that behind. Look at how crazy it looks. Okay. And let me tell you, these people try to manipulate your spirit, not your mind. Your mind was fine. Your mind was only triggered by your shadow. Okay. These people try to manipulate your spirit. They try to make your spirit become a version of you that you were not. Okay. And I'm seeing the spider spirit odom right now. Okay. And so they try to make you do things that you wouldn't do. They try to make you react in ways that you wouldn't react. Okay. Jump, puppet, jump. Okay. Speak this way, do this thing, right? react this way, all right? Do this now, not later, right? Or procrastinate and stay lazy and don't do these things, don't progress in life. These people try to manipulate your spirit. And the spiritual manipulation looks different than mental and emotional manipulation, okay? Spiritual manipulation can look like stagnancy in whatever project you're working on. Okay. And I'm going to start talking in a very general sense so that way you guys can fit it where it fits, right? Put it where it fits. I'm giving you a lot of puzzle pieces, make the picture. Okay. So I'm seeing that spiritually, you are someone that is going through a transition in your healing phase. You're going from being the victim to being free, being a free spirit. Okay. And when you make that transition from being the victim, being someone that can be taken advantage of, being someone that, from a spiritual perspective, is gullible, may not know a lot of things, may not be as informed as the next person, okay, may still be in training in terms of spiritual enlightenment. Again, angel number 1111 and 111, okay? This is new for you, this healing journey, this spiritual ascension journey, this spiritual enlightenment journey, this journey to awakening your soul and your spirit to who your soul is, and not your mundane ego version of the person that your family members told you that you were, that your friends told you that you were, that your ex-lovers told you that you were, that your ego told you that you were, because that's the broken version of you, right? The ego is the bully that taunts you so that way you no longer hurt anymore, but it's really ironic. I honestly think so, right? And so you are now breaking out of that energy. You're identifying the sociopaths, the narcissists, the psychopaths, the spiritual manipulators, people that like to feed off of codependency, people that like to feed off of sexual force energy instead of intimacy and nurturing energy, right? You're identifying the difference between these energies, right? And I want to say energies because I don't want to point out on people, right? Because energies can manipulate people, okay? Energies can attach themselves to people and make these people as vessels do certain things, okay? To then persuade you or manipulate you or tempt you or push you into a certain circumstance or situation or scenario, okay? So we know that energies, when I say energies, I'm talking about spiritual forces, okay? Spiritual forces, you guys may call them spirits, you guys may call them entities, right? Whatever you call it, this is what I'm talking about. All right. So these energies, these lower vibrational energies, these entities, whatever, that like to attach themselves to suffering, to pain, to anger, to resentment. All right. To boo-hoo, my life is over. This is not happening to me. Ba 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 ba. Right. I'm super depressed right now, or let me go ahead and grab another drink. Let me go ahead and grab another whatever to smoke and ba 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 ba. Right. Yeah, no, these energies were trying to tempt you so much. And in this new phase, this next phase, you're being able to identify, all right, who is abusive and who's not, all right, who's trying to abuse of your energy and who is not, all right, that conniving energy, the unpredictable energy, okay. What else? What else do you have to say for them? What else is coming in next? What else? Can you believe it's only 3 cards? 3 cards in, and we're vibing, okay? Look at this. You burned the bridges. You burned the bridges, didn't you? All right. You decided to light them the matches. All right. And the funny thing is that I'm seeing like you just lit one match and the whole freaking thing burned down. You lit one match and the whole thing burned down. Have you guys ever seen that video of somebody like somebody was doing some aesthetic thing with like recording and lighting candle or whatever, and they had like this nice autumn type of like display or whatever. And as soon as they lit the match to go light the candle, the whole freaking decorations came up in flame. All right. So it's like this energy of spiritually, you decided to light a candle. You decided to burn something. And burning is good for release. It's good for energy work. It's good for empowering. It's good for like bringing in like this transformation, right? And so whatever that is for you guys that you've done recently, it completely obliterated something for you, okay? And the thing is that the transformation here is moving forward. You are able to burn bridges with people that you don't trust anymore easily. You are able to, again, identify who's trying to abuse you and who is not really loyal to you. All right. You're able to identify how to become loyal to yourself now. All right. You are able to turn your back on things and people and places that are just not working for you any longer. All right. What else? What's coming in next? All right. Look at this running. And it's funny because I was talking about like you guys are going from one place to another, you're transitioning and stuff like that. It's interesting that other people are looking at you like this. Oh, well, I don't know what's wrong with them. They don't want to talk to me anymore. Oh, they're running from the problem. They're saying that I'm the problem, right? Oh, they're just doing that to escape, resolving something. But in reality, sitting there, again, going back to sitting there, going back and forth, having a conversation about something that's not going to get anywhere. All right. The quote unquote excuses is the excuses that these people have. All right. These people are saying that you're running. All right. But in reality, you are traveling. You packed up your bags and you're going. All right. I will say, be careful with your shadow attribute of escapism. All right. Again, I did mention something in regards to avoidance. All right. Avoidance is more so, there's a difference between escapism and avoidance. Avoidance is like when you avoid addressing something. Escapism is when you put yourself in a different energy, in a different vibe to avoid. All right. Which is a little bit different. So avoidance is like avoiding to answer someone or avoiding to talk about a particular topic. Escapism is getting out of your body, right? Not physically being present, right? Which is completely different than just walking around the topic, right? All right, angel number 1818. So be careful with escapism at this time and denial, right? Being in denial, escapism, and avoidance is one of your shadow attributes that you should be working on and figuring out what is that, where is it coming from, when did it start, how is it impacting you right now, and why is it important for you to work on it? Okay, those are key things that you should definitely be working on. All right, we have tension. All right. Whenever I get this energy, I do say there may be headaches. All right. Tension headaches, definitely. We have migraines. We have stressed out. We have worried. Okay. Just because you're in this energy of your winning season does not mean that you're not human. All right. And things are not going to stress you out. You'll still be stressed out in this winning season. I'm sorry to say that. You will be stressed out in this winning season. And that could be the reason why this escapism, this avoidance, this denial thing is happening, right? Maybe you're denying the fact that you're in your winning season because you're stressed the fuck out. It just is what it is, right? Let's see what your current energy is, all right? What is the current energy? All right, and then we have the wisdom of the house of the night. All right, let's see what's going on here. And I may have, repeat decks. I might not. I might switch it up here and there. But I will show you guys the decks and the cards and stuff like that. So that way you guys, if you're interested in getting these same decks, you know what it's called. Okay? So let's see. Crowllies. The Crowllective Flock. What is the current energy? All right, here it is. A continuation of the last one, huh? Yeah. All right. If you go to the last reading, you see where I talked about being trapped, right? A continuation. So yes, I will say that you kind of feel stuck because this is clarifying the family dynamics, inner circle ties, bloodlines. Okay. So I will say that right now you kind of feel trapped in a situation in regards to how you're going to handle things, if you can handle things, if you feel liberated enough to do things yourself, right? And so for the whole collective right now, we need to break chains. Okay. We need to break chains and we need to figure out why it is that we feel trapped. What is it that's making you feel this way? All right. And how can you decide to get out of the cage? Okay. That's something that's really important. Okay. Let's see what's going on here with the current energy. Here it is, obedience. And that's interesting because that's clarifying the longing aspect. That whole daydream thing, whatever. Her eyes are blinded. Like, it's bound. She's holding on to the scales. She has her sword of victory. She's standing in a pedestal. All right. And this is the thing. I talked about the denial thing. And so your current energy is like, you've been so blindsided to what things could have been like that you're not realizing the stance in which you are right now. Okay. Even though you can't see what is happening next, angel number 2222, okay, or what you're about to approach next in your journey, you're still balanced. You still pursue the truth, all right? You're very obedient to your spiritual path, to your spirituality, your spiritual practices. You may miss the version of yourself that didn't identify as this, but you've become someone that is so much more powerful. And so now when we talk about obedience, it's like, are you gonna obey your shadow self or are you gonna obey your higher self? Okay, that's the current energy. Who are you gonna listen to, right? Because your intuition lets you know what right from wrong. That's your discernment, right? But you yourself have the choice to either listen to your higher self and continue the path of healing, continue the path of enlightenment, continue the path of progression in your spirituality, okay? Or you can listen to your shadow self and your shadow self is going to continue to what? Punk you. Oh, you're not going to make it. You're not going to heal from that. Oh, they're always going to come back around. Oh, you're always going to say, you're always going to pick up again, or you're always going to, fall for that line again, or, you're always going to have that type of person around you, that type of friend around you, that type of lover around you, right? That's your shadow self. Tell them to shut the fuck up. Tell them to shut the fuck up. I got this. I can't see, but I'm holding my balance. I can't see, but I'm not cutting myself. I can't see, but I know what I'm doing. Okay? And so you need to reunite with your higher self at this time. All right, that's the current vibe and energy for the Crowllies. All right. And I will say for the past, 2 to 3 days, I've been hearing a lot of crow calls. So many. All right. They're just talking it up. Crow call here, crow call there. Bam, 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 bam. All right. I've been seeing like 2, 3 crows at a time. I've been seeing like 3 or 4 at a time. Okay. Like they're deep. Okay. And so I do feel like our collective here is definitely growing. And it is showing. All right. And we have focus. Focus. And we're talking about, this is clarifying the psychopath situation, right? This is not being guarded. This is knowing. This is being on point. This is not being guarded. This is being on point. Focusing on your goals, right? You're not going to focus on those negative energies, manipulating empty vessel people. We're not doing that. We're not entertaining. And let's dive deep on that for a second. When we talk about empty vessel people, or when we talk about energetically susceptible vessels, all right, these are people that their spirit, they have no more spiritual protection because they don't take care of their spirit, because they don't talk, they don't commune with their ancestors. They don't even believe in the higher power. They don't believe in themselves, okay? That's the type of people that I'm talking about, that are susceptible to being manipulated by these energies and entities, okay? They could just swoop on in there and do whatever. Why? Because they're not gonna second guess it. They're not gonna question it. They're gonna think that it's them. These psychopaths, these sociopaths, these spiritual manipulators, these spiritual energy vampires, these toxic people, okay, sometimes are not just wounded. Sometimes they're so spiritually susceptible to psychic attacks that they are literally puppets out here. They don't want to learn how to protect themselves. They don't want to cleanse. They don't want to believe in a higher power. They don't call in their angels. They don't have any type of connection with their traditions or their cultures or any of that. They're just out here being susceptible to take in anything and everything. They're just a net, just collecting all the negative energy, right? And they want to collect you too. They want to collect you in that same net that they're collecting the negative energy. You don't belong in there. That's why you need to focus, see things clearly, have your eye on the target. What is your goal here? All right. What is your goal in this next phase of yours? What is this next chapter? Your winning season. And what does that mean? There are certain people that you have to be careful with. This is not being guarded. This is being conscious. All right, let's see what's going on here. Current energy for the Crowllies. Yes, I actually have. I collected, hold on, all of these feathers. Hold on, whoa. All of these feathers as well these past couple days. They've been leaving feathers. And it's not just crows. Some of you guys have crows. Some of you guys have different spirit animals. All right. But I've been collecting feathers too. They're feathers all over the place. They're leaving their mark. And that is confirmation. You're supposed to leave your mark too. All right. You know what? That song from Beyonce, I Was Here. Yeah, confirmation. Fragments. I believe we also had this card too, right? In the last reading. So this energy is carrying on from the last reading as well. Okay. And so this is talking about burned bridges, right? And so when you burn bridges, when something is burned, there's always going to be ashes, right? And so it's what you do with those ashes. that count. You can't build on those ashes, but you can definitely do something else with those ashes. You get what I'm saying, right? Transform it to something else, right? And so the ashes may be what is left of you after burning the bridges to whatever, to those circumstances, to those relationships, to those environments, right? Because burning the bridge can be like, I'm not going to that place anymore. I'm not working there anymore. I'm not talking to such and such anymore. We're not friends anymore, or we're not dating anymore, or I'm not connected with that environment anymore, with that scene anymore, right? Sometimes that means that you need to reinvent yourself with what is left, right? So this is giving menagerie, like uh, like a cathedral glass. You know what I'm saying? Broken pieces of glass that you put it together, and then you make different art with it, right? So this is what I'm seeing, like being loyal to yourself by putting yourself back together in an amazing way. Okay, in a way that people will be like, oh, well, you can't do anything with that, right? Or there's no, there we go, mosaic glass, there we go. Like there's this thing here that people are just like itching to say some really raunchy, nasty stuff to you because you're really deciding to get it together and you're in your winning season. High Priestess of Earth. And it's funny because we're talking about Burn Bridge, and the last one, I believe, was the High Priestess of Fire. So whatever happened between the last reading and this reading, all right, chronologically in terms of time, okay, from when you watched it, you burned something. And this could be metaphorically, this could be like like you actually lit a candle or something, or you actually like wrote something down and burned it or whatever, like maybe you burned an incense and you cleansed yourself and you removed some energy and it was stanky or whatever you did, okay? And now you're grounding yourself, High Priestess of Earth, right? Now you're standing on that shit, right? Because this is confirming running, escapism, right? You're grounding yourself so that way you don't have to escape, right? And I talked about how meditation is not for you to kind of be out of your body and stuff like that. Meditation is like for you to be able to be one with the environment, be one with yourself, and be one with the earth. Okay. Be one all complete and what, like, just be present. That is what meditation is for, is to be present, is to show up for yourself spiritually, mentally, emotionally. All right. Being there and being able to identify things and being able to still be conscious of what's happening around you. That is what meditation is. Okay. And so I feel like at this phase right now, you are so used to running that now, like, you're shifting gears into grounding, into really focusing and harnessing your energy in one key thing. And I do feel that in this day and age, in this modern age right now, a lot of people are trying to go, let's do that, let's do this, let's do that other thing, and then keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. And there's no pause. There's no let's take a break. There's no let's parking lot that for a second and check in with self. Angel number 3322. Okay. Let's check in with self. How am I feeling emotionally right now? How's my body feeling right now? Is my body feeling burnt out? Angel number 3333. Okay. Am I emotionally, do I have the emotional capacity to talk to this person or to be in that environment or to address this particular situation, right? Am I mentally checked out? Like someone has to repeat themselves over and over again because I'm not there present. I'm not there, right? Grounding your energy, right? And that goes right back around to the escapism, the avoidance, right? The denial and the excuses, right? That's all this right here. That's the current energy right now. You're grounding that. You're holding that in. And then we have oath. That's balm. All right. So this is like, what would that say? You're showing loyalty to yourself. That's your current energy. So you guys comment down below. Let me know what you're vowing to yourself from now on out in your journey. I vow to myself that I ... What is your vow? What is your vow to yourself that you cannot break moving forward in your journey? Okay. What is your healing messages? Let's see what's going on with your healing messages. I'm going for the I was about to say her astrology. Her astrology, the herbal astrology deck. Okay. And we'll see what's going on here with that for your healing messages. Remember, we are vibing and we're thriving over here. We support one another. All right, let's uplift each other. Let's see what's going on here. You should use that oath as a mantra moving forward, okay? So don't just comment it down below, do a little screenshot, and remember it, okay? Boom, boom. All right, let's see what's going on here for their healing messages. Woo. Transfiguration, this transformation, again, with the energy of fire. All right, look at that. So you caused the tower. The tower didn't just come unexpectedly. You caused the shift. You caused a transformation. All right. You said, you know what? This needs to burn down. This needs to stop. This is not working anymore. All right. That is powerful. Okay. You know what that's confirming? That's confirming what was entrapping you. That's confirming whatever was happening in regards to family dynamics in your bloodline. All right. When we talk about bloodline, this could be your living relatives, but it could also be ancestral bloodlines, right? It could be generational. Okay. I'm also seeing that you guys are not just shifting into the element of freeing yourselves and freeing your bloodline and freeing yourselves from feeling kind of stuck or stagnant in regards to having to do something. Like, I have to do this for this person. I have to, if I don't do this, something terrible is going to happen. That is what you're breaking the mold of. You're breaking free from that. All right. There's a big transformation happening. Your Mars placement can be significant. All right. And your Neptune placement. All right. We also have angel number 22 again. And then we have Poppy Dream. All right. This is confirming obedience. Your dreams are very connected to the spiritual realm, right? And for some, like, when you haven't went through your spiritual awakening and like you're just in the mundane reality, just living the dream, just being present as the mundane person you are, not realizing that there's so much more out there spiritually, right? You think that your dreams are like, man, that was a weird dream, whatever, right? Psychologically, your dreams do bring up things that you may need to address, right? So knowing the difference between, okay, I watched this movie, so now I'm starting to dream about this, right? Or I ate so many sweets last night or whatever, and now I'm having some weird funky dreams. And knowing the difference between that and, oh, wow, you know, my spirit guide came to me in my dream and told me about ... And right after that dream, I then started to experience physical, real life synchronicities about it. Now, we're not talking about premonitions, that things happen exactly how it is in the dreams, okay? That's more movie style, I'm going to be honest with y'all. But this is more so like being more obedient to your discernment. Again, going back to your intuition, your discernment, knowing when your dreams are telling you something spiritual, and knowing when your dreams are just mirroring to you or projecting to you what you need to address in your subconscious mind, right? And this, again, with the subconscious mind, that correlates back to your shadow, what your shadow's holding on to, what your shadow's trying to project to you, what your shadow's trying to tell you. So knowing the difference in your dreams, right? Poppy seeds are, in a spiritual property sense, used for confusing. You could have had very confusing dreams as of lately. And currently, right now, because we're talking about your healing journey, you're healing, the fact that, you could have had a disconnect with your spiritual dreams and your subconscious dreams, which are completely different. Okay. And for those of you that you don't have a dream journal, you should definitely invest in a dream journal, especially if you're heavy dreamers. Okay. I will say, for those of you that do have a dream journal, I really would advise for you to go back to your dreams and kind of reread certain things, right? And try to identify, is this telling me something spiritually, or is this my shadow self talking to me? Are there certain things that I need to heal from? And this is what the dream is telling me. And what are those things? Am I having repeat dreams? Or is there a certain theme that keeps coming back up in the form of different dreams? All right. So that way you can identify what this is. All right. I definitely encourage that. Let's see what else is here. In terms of their healing. All right, 4114, mirrored number. Here we go. Acceptance and intuition came out. Beautiful. All right, acceptance and intuition came out. Blue Lotus. All right, Blue Lotus is also very good for enhancing your intuition. All right, enhancing your spiritual gifts. You can actually drink it in the form of a tea. For my smokers, you can roll it up and smoke it. There's certain herbs that you can smoke and certain herbs that you can't. Is the same thing with certain herbs that you can drink and certain herbs that you can't. So I always suggest for you guys to do your own research. But yes, definitely Blue Lotus is one of those herbs that you can drink and you can smoke. I will say that in terms of your healing, your intuition is enhancing. Some of you guys are astral travelers, which means that you astral travel in your dreams. Some of you guys may get spiritual omens in your dreams. They're not necessarily, let's say, predictions, but they are confirmations. So you get confirmations in your dreams about certain things, or synchronicities about things in your dreams. And they're like puzzle pieces or gems that you kind of got to put together, which is a little bit different. And so you may need to practice by, writing out your dreams, doing some research on what certain things mean in your dreams, and then correlating that back to yourself and how those things resonate with you, right? For example, maybe you're someone that loves flowers, right? And you're a flower collector or whatever, or you're a gardener, right? And so you know that if you have a dream of, I don't know, a sunflower, then you know that there's going to be some really great stuff that's about to start happening, right? Like, oh my God, I saw sunflowers, right? Or some of you guys, it could be animals, like, oh my gosh, I saw a butterfly. I know there's going to be a transformation, right? Something happening, right? A metamorphosis is about to happen, right? And so you have to figure out what is that particular dream telling you, right? Specifically, because everybody has their own code. Let's put it like that. Like, you have your own code, and your synchronicities are not going to be like mine. Like, when I see a butterfly, it might just be a transformation. But when you see a butterfly, you knew that it's going to come with a new beginning. It's not just something that changes. It's going to be a new beginning, right? Other people, they see a butterfly and like, oh my God, that's my ancestor right there. Oh my God, that's a confirmation. They were listening to me about something, right? So everybody's going to be completely different. That's why I always advise you guys to take notes, transcribe your readings, okay? This is not just for entertainment, all right? Yes, I should say, it's entertainment purposes, blah, 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 blah. But spiritually, if we're seeing eye to eye right now, we know what it is, right? Everybody drop down their black hearts if you know what it is. Right? So you're accepting the fact that there are some people that are going to be toxic. And you're also accepting the fact that some people are just going to be vessels, that they're just going to be used, right? So like sometimes people, like certain relationships come in your path just to teach you something, not because they're going to be there for a long time. Maybe number 44, 44. All right. They're a lesson that you got to learn, and then you got to keep moving. Right. And so that being said, you're utilizing your intuition, and that's what's healing. You're no longer going to operate out of a triggered state like, oh my gosh, what's wrong with me? Why do I keep attracting these type of people, or this type of situation always keeps happening to me? You're shifting it to, I'm learning something right now. Oh my gosh, you know what? I should have learned that lesson last time with this person, because they have similarities, that mirror thing, right? You know, they have similarities, and now I'm realizing, oh, I may be healing my abandonment wound right now, and I'm experiencing situations with certain people that are mirroring that same type of energy to me. Or, oh, you know, every time I decide to tell people my plans, I have this certain type of character that pops up into my life that may show up as a friend or may show up as a coworker, and they show me that, you know what, I'm talking too much. I'm saying a little bit too much. I'm sharing a little bit too much, and my plans are being stolen. You know, and someone just spreading all the salt on what should be sweet for me, right? So for each and every one of you guys, it's going to be completely different in terms of what that scenario is and what those characters are for you, right? But it's definitely this energy of like, all right, you're healing. You're healing that though. You're identifying that. You're not sitting there in La La Land, in Delulu Land, saying everything's gonna be great. I'm still working on my healing and I'm gonna be fine. But you still with the toxic people. You know, you're learning, you're evolving, okay? You are healing your masculine and feminine energy at this time, and there will be an abundance of overflow with your feminine energy. So pay attention to that coming up next. All right. What else in terms of their healing message? All right. We have motherwort strength. If you've lost your strength at some point in time, you're regaining it. If you got a little scary, you got a little scary pattern, like, I don't know what I'm gonna do next. I don't know. I don't think I'm built for this. Yes, you are. You're gonna be stronger. Okay. If you guys had issues with your like maternal bond, maternal like mother-daughter situations, grandmother, granddaughter stuff, that is healing. Okay. With the burn bridges and stuff like that, I do feel like there's certain things that you're no longer going to tolerate, but I do feel like there's things that is also going to start to mend and to heal, right? Some of you guys, you could be healing something in your reproductive system, your heart chakra, and your base chakras, okay? Your Venus placement could be very significant in regards to healing those certain things, so check that out. And the last message for the healing messages is we have peaceful warrior, where you were running, where you were escaping, where you were denying, you're now sitting still. You are now, you're no longer fighting, right? You're not fighting being healed because you were fighting it for some time. Like, I just want to be reckless for a little bit. I want to challenge myself a lot more than I should. It's becoming easier. It's becoming easier for you, okay? We have revival. And we have the eagle spirit here. So the eagle spirit, there's so much more that you're going to be able to see, not just in hindsight, but overall, like the grand scheme of things in regards to your healing, because you're going to be able to see it. Like you're going to be able to connect the dots. Like, wow, all of those things happen. Like all these mountains that I climbed, and now I'm like at my peak level, right? You finally made it up the mountain, right? Let's see what spiritual gifts you are developing. Spiritual gifts that are coming up for you guys. And then we're using the Sacred Soul message deck. And I really like this deck. It's really, really cool. I like how it kind of matches the vibe of What's the Vibe deck. And I don't know if like they intentionally did that or if they have like a connection or not, but it definitely is really cool how it goes together, right? All right, let's see what's going on here. Show us their spiritual gifts. What are they developing right now? Ooh, look at the stars. Yay! It's a mean for celebration. All right, so what is planted in your soul will be sprouted. Planted seeds, dedication, your work is rewarded. So I'm going to ask you this, and you will know the answer. Okay. I'm going to ask you this, and the question is, what spiritual gift have you been working on? That's the spiritual gift that is developing. What spiritual gift did you decide, you know what, I'm going to spend some time working on this? I'm going to spend some time in getting to know this. I'm going to try this out. That is the gift that is developing. All right. So the gift is growing. The gift is growing because you're nurturing. There we go. You're nurturing and nourishing that specific spiritual gifts. And now it's starting to kind of like blossom and grow. And then we have a bouquet. That is so beautiful. All right. It was interesting. We're definitely talking about flowers, right? It says something about sunflowers, ocean energy. Okay. Roses here. Yeah, these are roses. Roses, a nice little bow, a bouquet. Reason is powerless in the face of love. Romance, communication, listen to your heart. I do feel like some of you guys are, what is that called? Clairsentient. Clairsentient is when you can feel instead of seeing, right? Clairvoyance is more of like a mixture of a lot of different things, right? But it's more like intuitive. Clairsentience is like when you can feel that something's up. You can feel it in your heart, right? So your gift is your heart center, okay? So therefore, if your gift is your heart center, then that means that when you're healing and you're starting to heal and you're healing more, confirmation, you're starting to utilize and enhance your spiritual gift to the max, right? To the max potential. And so I also feel like you guys, I don't know if you know this, but clairsentience can also be like touching items, right? So like if you were to grab a crystal and hold on to it, you can feel the vibration. And yes, everybody can do that. But when you have the clairsentient gift, if you touch a person, you can feel their anger. You can feel their jealousy. You can feel their envy. You can feel their pain and their grief and their depression. Like you can feel it. And so I will say, if you're clairsentient, you should have a lot of crystals around you. Okay. You should carry crystals on you. You should be wearing crystals. Okay. You should cleanse yourself very often. Very, very often. Because your mood can get soured by just anyone, by a random person in the grocery store, by just sitting in traffic, okay? Just sitting in traffic. And you can just imagine just sitting in traffic. Like, I'm not even sitting next to anyone. I'm by myself in the car. Yes, but guess what? I talked to you guys about your auric field and how big your auric field is. Your auric field is about 3 times the length of your arm extended from side to side. If you were to stand in star stance, meaning like if you were going to do jumping jacks type thing, right? That being said, you need to make sure that you protect yourself, protect your heart center. All right. If you're clairsentient, your go-to is the heart chakra stones. Heart chakra stones are your power stones, right? So you need to know, if we're talking your spiritual gifts, you need to know your kryptonite and you need to know your power stones, right? And so your kryptonite may just be people that are going through a hard time emotionally, people that do not know how to emotionally regulate themselves, people that project their emotions. They blame you. Oh, it's your fault. Oh, you did this and you did that, but they're not really taking accountability for what they're doing, right? And so that is your kryptonite, right? And so you need to protect yourself from that kryptonite, right? And defend yourself, right? Not just protect yourself, defend yourself. In your defense, you may need more heart center stones. You may need more transmutive, right? Transformational stones. So these stones that will help transmute your energy to shift it, right? Because sometimes you can't change everything. As you remember, 5511, right? You can't micromanage everyone, right? And sometimes you're going to show up and there's not going to be a lot of power or say so on your department, right? Especially if you're just going to go to the mall, or you're going to go to a very crowded location, or you're going to go to a concert, or you're going to go to, like, I don't know, you're going to dine out or something like that. You can't control the environment, right? You can control who's going to be there, not all the time, right? And so your defense mechanism, right, should definitely be a certain series of crystals. Like, let's luau with the thinking frog for a second. This, my babies, this is a clear quartz crystal bracelet. If you put this on, this will regulate your chakras, okay? It will regulate your chakras. It will help to recenter your chakras, realign your chakras, all right, when you engage with whoever you're going to engage with. And they kind of mess up your spiritual equilibrium, okay? Some of you guys may need to work on your throat chakra, but it helps, right? It's like a buffer, right? It's a good buffer to dial back or dial forward your chakra centers, right? And then utilizing like a rose quartz or utilizing a smoky quartz, right? Utilizing, let's say, an aventurine, which is also a heart stone, is also a money stone. Something like that will help when you have clairsentience, right? Especially if you're going to be in your very fast-paced environment, people in, people out, people walking all about, right? You want to make sure that you are being reasonable with yourself, because you don't want to do as a clairsentient is isolate from people, because you need emotion. Emotion is what feeds you. That's what you thrive off of, right? So if we were to talk about career things, you would want to definitely dive into a holistic healing vibe, something to help other people, help the community, because it's going to feed back to you, because you're going to feel good. You're going to feel good doing what you do, right? And that could be another thing. Your kryptonite for working would be loathing what you do. I don't want to show up to work. I don't want to go there. I don't want to work with those people. I don't want to work with that coworker. Okay, those things are your kryptonite too. Okay, so pay attention to those things. There's different. There's also different meditations that you can do to enhance your psychic gifts with clairsentience and stuff like that. But I would be very careful with your hand chakras, what you grab, what you pick up, who you hug, who you allow to hug you, who you let in your like little bubble, basically. Like, especially if somebody walks by you in the aisle and then they rub up against you, even when there's a lot of space at the store, okay? All right, that's also like that's energy transference, okay? What else in terms of their spiritual gift development? Spiritual gift development. Ooh, the mic. Ooh, the music. All the vibes. All right, we have sing like the birds, not worrying about what others think. Be yourself, share your heart, speak your truth, period. Okay. I will say that you guys could be very powerful speakers, motivators, content creators, um, leaders. Okay. And so, that being said, I do feel like a spiritual gift of yours is being able to grasp the attention of a lot of people, especially when you're passionate in what you're talking about. That being said, if you guys want to continue to develop that gift, you should definitely do things like show and tell, open mic, podcasts. If you guys are singers, right, doing the music thing, and the music thing could be maybe it's the beats that you like, and that's what really gets you moving and grooving, and maybe it might not be that, maybe it may be lyrical. Okay. um, I did say Oshun energy. Oshun is very musical. Okay. So if you guys have a spirit guide that is very into music, okay, or you work with Oshun, okay, this is like the third time that I mentioned Oshun. So, and it's fall season, so a lot of pumpkin everywhere. Okay. So give your girl something. Go give her some flowers. All right, go play some music, go dance and shake your butt in front of the shoe, and she'll dance with you. All right. But I'm seeing like this energy of like, okay, well, you need to do more of like speaking, more speaking. All right, but speaking about things that you actually want to speak about, not things that feel forced. Okay. So you guys may have the gift of gab, just the gift of talking, the gift of what is that, claircognizance, the gift of clear knowing, just knowing things and just spitting out facts. And then you may also have the gift, like, you may have just a very beautiful, sensitive, like kind voice that people just love to listen to. Like, I would love to listen to you for hours. And I don't care what you talk about. I would listen to you for hours, type thing, right? So that could be a gift of yours. And some of you guys may have a beautiful singing voice, okay? All right. And then the bottom of the deck, we have the drop in the hands, right? A lot of feminine energy here, okay? You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in one drop, Crowley. Stand out, perspective, bringing things together. So I do feel like you are someone that, let's say, brings people together. Kind of, you're like the glue to things, right? And so that means that you're someone that you're like a healer. You're a healer. So you have healing abilities, and I feel like water is one of the most important things for you. We were talking about like spiritual baths. Maybe you have the gift of creating spiritual baths, or the gift of creating tinctures and certain teas and herbal remedies. Okay. And maybe it's time to start looking into that deeper. Okay. So apothecary vibes here as well. Let's see, what obstacles are you overcoming? One second, y'all. What obstacles? And we're going to use the tarot with the keywords. What obstacles are they overcoming? What obstacles are they overcoming right now? Oh, okay. So, Ace of Pentacles, boom. That is good. So, if you had any challenges in regards to finances, or in regards to kickstarting something new in regards to your financial goals, your financial mission, or your career, Boom, new start. All right, especially because that's confirming that trapped energy. Oh, I feel stuck in this, situation financially, or I can't get out of this situation, or I feel stuck here, or there's no way I can, maybe I don't have that opportunity, or this is the only opportunity I'm being offered, or um, there's issues with like my prosperity, right? My prosperity doesn't go further than this, right? Or the abundance doesn't go further than that, or whatever that may be. I'm seeing that that's the shift. So you were in some sort of cycle and you're overcoming that cycle financially and you're going to begin a new chapter. Again, your winning season. So your winning season financially is here. Okay. I'm also seeing that there may be a new venture that will help you to break the mold or break free from your certain career path or your certain career goals or your financial milestones or something like that. Okay. And it will bring great abundance to you guys. So be prepared. Be prepared for your harvest. So this is not just your winning season, this is your harvest season. All right. So you're going to be collecting money. All right. So pentacles, money is going to arrive. Definitely in this new chapter, money is going to arrive, and especially if that was an obstacle for you guys. All right. We have the Four of Cups here. I do feel like you guys are overcoming that bleh energy. Okay. That's probably why you were diving into the avoidance or the escapism, making excuses, right? Because you were dissatisfied for some time. Meditation is really going to help with that. That's the second time I mentioned meditation. You guys were very restless at some point in time. Again, feeling stagnant or focusing on things that we're not going to necessarily get things done, right? So basically, like crying over spilled milk or focusing on all the bad things and not focusing on the good things. So more gratitude journaling is going to help in this next chapter for you guys. I do feel like the obstacle that you are overcoming in regards to that is just having epiphanies, revelations, reevaluating things that need to be reevaluated and switching things around so that it works out for you, right? So disconnecting from whatever you need to disconnect from, basically. The 10 of Pentacles, another strong omen here, all right, with finances, wealth, okay. 10 of Pentacles also talks about inheritance. So inheritance doesn't always have to be the energy of someone passes away and gives you something. Inheritance also means like, all right, someone's handing something down to you. You're being handed the torch now, okay? So the obstacle that you're overcoming at this point in regards to your finances or in regards to just family in general is something that you've been long awaiting for, right? It was kind of the reason that you kind of felt powerless for some time. But now with the healing of communication and you listening to your intuition, following your discernment and listening to your heart, okay, the compulsion that you were feeding at some point in time is going to shift. You're no longer going to be as compulsive or impulsive that, that can mess things up, right? So that's what you're overcoming, especially because this is going to feed into your success in regards to your accomplishments specifically. Okay. So there's accomplishments coming too. All right. So there was obstacles in regards to you completing things, accomplishing things, getting things done. It will get done. All right. Anything else here for obstacles? And then we have the Star card in the reverse. Okay. I do feel like there was an issue with you starting fresh, starting new. Every time you try to start something new, whether it be a project, whether it be a new idea, whether it be you following through with something, okay? Excuse me. I do feel like that's a confirmation too. I said something about the throat chakra, and that's what it is. You needed to heal the throat chakra. Some of you guys need to clear your throat chakra. Yeah. Excuse me. Let me grab some water. Pardon me. It was a throat chakra. All right. It was a throat chakra. All right. So throat chakra talks about being in your truth, right? Like standing and being who you are authentically. And so there could have been a challenge here. That's what you're overcoming. Being authentically you, right? Not trying to fit in society or fit into a group or a mold or trying to be someone that you're not, or trying to think, have the opinions that you don't really necessarily believe in that have been kind of like pushed on you, right? Is kind of what I'm seeing here. And so if you had issues with faith, right, that's another thing I'm seeing. You had issues with lack of faith. That obstacle is breaking. Okay. You guys could also, like, it may not have been lack of faith. It may just have been lack of faith of yourself, like not believing in yourself or something like that. Okay. Or not trusting yourself. Right. Um, and the other thing is like the disconnection. I don't know. There's something here with like being disconnected with other people, or like maybe it wasn't that. It was like the insecurities that you were facing. There's some sort of obstacle here that you're overcoming in regards to that insecurity that could have then, I'm seeing, like, led to the disconnection between you and someone, or between you and something else. Okay. Again, we're talking about like that situation with a narcissist, a sociopath, like those negative energies and stuff like that, right? So that was all happening at the same time, but now you're overcoming that, right? Whatever caused that insecurity, whatever caused that setback and things like that. Okay. And now you're able to speak your truth and listen to your heart and follow through, right? You have more hope now, is what I'm seeing here. And you're also going to start having good omens in regards to that. Angel number 111, 33, 1133. Okay. And then we have Nine of Pentacles, wrapping it all up for what you're overcoming. Codependency, where? You are finally able to get things done on your own and not feel bad about it. Okay. Actually able to be like, I need a health checkup. I need a spiritual cleanse. I need to pray about it. I need to meditate. I need a time out. Right. I need to check in with self. I need to check in with my ancestors, whatever it is. Right. You're able to do that independently. Right. Angel number 1212. Let's see what your closing message is, boo. And I'm gonna whip them out. Yes, I am. The channel cards. Closing message. What's the closing message? Comment down below and let me know what was your most on point message so far with this reading. Like the one that was like, that is the best news ever. All right. The wound is the place where the light enters you. Boom. Rumi. Absolutely. All right. Let's see, what is that to do with? A man. A man. So it was a man that you dealt with, a masculine energy. We have guidance from your spirit squad, spiritual reminder. A clear heart is a receptive heart. Okay. Be open to receive love, support, healing, and blessings. And fire over fire. Again, that energy of fire, fire over fire. Okay. Brilliance. Business message. Enthusiasm is key to finding creative solutions to current business problems. Love message. Be enthusiastic about your partner's development and be sure to enjoy this time of inspiration. All right. We have an advisor. We have daylight energy. So again, fire, daylight, the sun, go sunbathe while you still can, though, while you still can. All right. Spells casted. Join, started a coven to do spell work. That is what you were dealing with. Set fire to that. That's what you set fire to. This right here. Angel number 1444. Okay. That is what you set fire to. And that is what you're overcoming. Those were your messages. Comment down below. Let me know how this resonates with you. And I will see you guys for the next live stream. Peace.